So I'm wondering what it should be. A Lada 1600 or a Mercedes G-Class? Complicated decision, because the Lada, however, is very easy to fix and very inexpensive to fix. The G-Class, however, is a little bit more expensive. But I think if you were to ride a Lada for a long time, you'd get a little bit tired. Now, I know that sounds like a very strange analogy, but you could say the same pretty much about old design motorcycles and new design motorcycles. Now, you may remember during the first series, we had a Royal Enfield Classic 500, which is actually not a bad bike for what it is. It does serve its purpose. But there's one area I have to say that does kind of make you want to go after a ride, and that is a long ride because of the vibration and the sound and everything else. So we decided to upgrade to something a little bit more modern, which is this one right over here, a Honda CB1000R Black Edition. Basically, it's the 1000R. They just decided to add some features, like, for example, the quick shifter, which I'll get onto in a moment, but they really did a good finish with the black. Now, there's a lot of people who are motorcycle fanatics, and I've heard them say, oh, the quick shifter, that's not really riding, and blah, 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 and all this nonsense. But everybody that I have spoken to, Duncan, you know who you are, we've all said the same thing. We were kind of like weary about it at the beginning, but after you've ridden a bike with a quick shifter, I'm like, why did we do it the other way for such a long time? Now, quick shifters are nothing new. They've been on racing bikes for a really, really long time. But to have it on a production bike, I think is fantastic. And hopefully, it'll be the norm. When you ride it, it is a naked bike. It is a naked sports bike. There's no doubt about that. But it doesn't feel like it. One moment you could be riding it, it feels like you're riding a Rolls-Royce Phantom. It's nice and very comfortable and everything, but then you just give it a little bit throttle and it turns into a Ferrari. Now, speaking of that, that's the other thing actually that's quite nice about it are the settings. There's a range setting, standard setting, and sports setting. I did, however, go to sport mode just for fun. And just say, I was a little bit shocked. The front wheel actually lifted up because it is quick. Even in rain mode, it is quick. We're here in the mountains today, and when we were coming up just to this spot that we stopped, I actually left it in 6th gear. I wasn't giving any throttle, and I was still able to do 45, 50 kilometers going uphill. That is the other nice thing about it. So put it this way, if you're looking for a bike that is comfortable, it is definitely comfortable. The seating position is nice. I'm 183 centimeters, 6'1" tall, and both feet touch the ground. The mirrors, which are the stock mirrors, are actually quite good. There's a pretty good view from behind. Even on roads that are not perfectly surfaced, the suspension, which is the stock suspension, which you can change, or even just tighten it or soften it or whatever you want to do, is actually quite good with the bike. It is a 4-cylinder inline twin, so of course it is going to be smooth. One of the other settings that's on the bike, which I haven't really fiddled with yet, is the user settings. So you can actually set your own user settings for ABS and torque and engine braking and all that. I haven't really used that one yet. So maybe one day I will. For what you get, actually it's not that expensive. The prices of course vary from country to country, but they're around 13,000 euros. The regular 1000R is about 1,000 euros less, but which is actually not a bad price because you're paying the 1,000 euros more, but you're getting all the other things. The other thing as well that's actually unique is that, okay, this is a single seater. This comes off. It's actually very simple. In the key goes, and you can take it off, and you can actually put a seat. But I've had 2 passengers so far on this one, and if you're a passenger in the back, it's not really that great. I mean, you wouldn't want to be driving like a maniac with somebody on the back, especially in sport mode, because they'll just go flying off. So yeah, you can carry somebody if you're just doing like around town, normal speeds. But it really is a single seater, and it is quite comfortable. Has UBS charging in the back. small little toolkit. The only thing I can think of how to ending this off is I've ridden a lot of older bikes and classic bikes and vintage bikes, and they're all fine and they actually serve a really good purpose. But you know, maybe because I'm a little bit older now and I want something a little bit more comfortable. So this is comfortable, and even at low speeds, it's like just going along. But then at the moment you feel like, I feel like a 12-year-old boy. You can go like a complete maniac. My bag is slightly heavier than it was when I came because I went to the beach this morning, so it's full of wet clothes. There is a washing machine here, but I was like, forget it. It doesn't really matter.